Brazilian BA guest. We have a different guest here every week to talk about something on business analysis. And if this is your first time in my channel, please subscribe it, click on the bell. It's going to be a pleasure to have you here every week. Today, I have a very special friend that's a good friend of mine, Mr. Terry Baresh. Hello, Terry. Thank you for coming.
Fabricio, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
It's an enormous pleasure. Terry, I have a question for you today, and it's a very interesting question because we are talking about something that I heard at BBC that looks like a trend in the business analysis field. The question is, when should we start discussing cybersecurity in a project?
That's a great question, and thanks for asking. Immediately, we'll just start with that answer. But let's think about this for a minute. What is cybersecurity? Somebody asked me that question. Typically, my answer is something like, look, cybersecurity is an art and a practice of protecting data from cyber attacks. It's really that simple, right? Cybersecurity is both an art and a science, a practice of protecting things that are important to a company. And that includes data, information, and reputation as well. So cybersecurity encompasses a lot of different domains beyond what we typically think of, which is looking at a screen and waiting for an attack. You know, the dark monitors, the room with the guy in the hoodie, right? They exist. Those are cyber analysts, and a lot of companies have them in a room. But all the things that they're doing and all the things surrounding them are technologies and processes and people trained in all sorts of things to make cybersecurity work. And here's where BAs come in and play a significant role. We're beginning to play a more significant role as we move on. And one of those is helping those cyber analysts to integrate the technologies they have, to secure solutions that we're building or that were built, helping them to get projects done, put things in place to automate things. And automation is a big deal in cybersecurity. There aren't enough cybersecurity people to fill the roles. I think there right now globally there's 3.5 million cybersecurity positions that are unfilled. There's a presidential directive to do that. So BAs come in and help them build out their program and perform activities that are really important and essential to cybersecurity.
When you answered me immediately, I believe for a project that's running on, we're already late. We should have thought about cybersecurity and we have to run about it. And you mentioned the role of the business analyst, and you mentioned some kind of expert in cybersecurity or some cybersecurity professional. And I wanted to understand if there is a boundary between the cybersecurity professional, or if that's something that a lot of professionals should develop as a skill. How do you see that?
Well, if we use the analogy of working with somebody who's in IT, there are people who know a lot about servers, operating systems, and that's their job, right? Setting up servers or operating servers. And business analysts don't necessarily have to understand how servers operate, but we can come in and help them in terms of managing the implementation of technology. That's the same with cybersecurity. So there are experts in cybersecurity that understand threat intelligence. There are experts in cybersecurity that understand vulnerabilities and how to manage vulnerabilities. You probably know, you've heard about patching, right? You have to patch your hardware. You have to patch your laptop, or the company's going to be doing a big patch And so the system will be interrupted for a while. Well, that patching is part of managing vulnerabilities. And anytime that you're starting a project, if that project involves any type of information or data, chances are that you're creating, or as a nature of the project, vulnerabilities. And those vulnerabilities are the things that the bad guys, the threat actors, are looking for. So
I wonder if you could give us an example about, like, we're creating a new product, and this new product is gonna provide some information for our customers, and it's going to be online, and so there's a lot of data around that. Usually we're trying to understand the customer journey, the processes, and the data that's going to be available. And you are talking about vulnerabilities, and so that's a new thing that we should be aware and trying to detect. How can we structure that from the beginning of the project? I mean, there's no IT people involved yet. We are just realizing or defining the product. How should we work to identify, or I don't know, how should we work to get cybersecurity started from the beginning?
that's a good question, and one can. Putting on this the security mindset, right? What's that security mindset? Is who needs to access the data? What type of information are we presenting? You mentioned customer data. Oh, so we have customers. We also know that there are regulatory obligations around managing customer data or customer information. Are you aware of what those regulatory obligations are? And if you don't, might be a good opportunity right now to understand, is your company subject to any type of mandates or regulatory controls? That's an important thing to know in advance. Don't assume that your IT folks or your data management folks will know that information. They may, but that's not really their primary interest. If a customer needs to log in to access data, what type of controls do you think you might need? Is that customer information stored somewhere? And is it available to who, right? Now, customer data is incredibly important to a lot of companies, and being able to share that data with the marketing team and the sales team, collecting information from a customer regarding their profile or their interests. There are certain requirements around how to manage that data. And if you're talking about a customer journey, one of the parts of that journey is making sure that they know that their information is secured. So I think it's important right away to start thinking just about those types of things.
Perfectly, you're totally right. And IT people won't define those requirements, because you're talking about requirements, and their business requirements, their stakeholder requirements. They're not defined by the technology. The technology is there to support them perfectly. I believe, Terry, that a lot of people that watch us and are just getting this light bulb of cybersecurity blinking in their heads, they want to engage, to look more, to try to communicate with other people looking for the same thing. Where can they find information about that?
Well, if you are working in a medium-sized or a large-sized company, there are probably folks who are working in a security department or working in a risk department. Maybe you have a compliance or a privacy team. Those folks have a lot of information that you can, that they would be willing to share with you. And it's worth reaching out. If you're interested yourself and you don't have those folks around, I would really suggest starting with getting an understanding of risk, having just a general understanding of what risk means, because really at the end of the day, what you're doing is you're preventing some action by involving security of reducing or minimizing or mitigating risk. Businesses have to take risks. It's that simple. If they want to be successful, they need to take risks. Cybersecurity is one of the ways in which we can manage risk. And as you said, we're collecting the requirements. So start with an understanding of risk. The cybersecurity part will come.
Nice. And I know that you have a group where people can join, talk about that. Is that available for anyone? How can we join that?
Absolutely. We started a LinkedIn group for BAs or product owners or really anybody who's interested in hearing about cybersecurity and risk management from a business analyst perspective. I'll send you the link and you can put it in the video here.
Oh, perfect. I'll put in the video, put in below this video. It's going to be the link there. And I will share Terry's LinkedIn as well so people can find you on LinkedIn. Terry, I would like to thank you very much for coming here today and sharing those ideas with us.
Well, thank you so much. I always appreciate talking about security. We know it's top of mind of executives and people all around the world. And so thanks for sharing this opportunity and letting me come here. Appreciate it.